Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be doing this video for you guys, so if you're a little bit creepy like me and you want a random hole in your hand for whatever reason, then just keep on watching. So to start off, you're just going to need a few sheets of paper that I got offline. An easy alternative would be to just use a book. They do look super cool, super realistic, but to be honest, I just didn't have it in me to ruin one of my books. So as you can see, I just stuck with my first option. Next thing you're going to need is a few paintbrushes. These are actually in my baking section at Walmart, but they caught my eye since they were in a pack of 3 and I really like to have different options. Alright, so this next part turned out to be a little bit of a fail. I bought what I thought was liquid blood. It turned out to be blood paste, so you could see why I was pretty mad. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was a little bit disappointed, but I wasn't about to let that get me down, so all I did was go onto Google. Wait, Google, no. I went onto YouTube and figured out a little recipe that consisted of only honey, red and blue, what is that called? Food coloring, and I just mixed it all together into a little bowl. If you guys are interested, I'm gonna link the original video down below just so you guys could see, because she does really good instructions, better than what I could give, so I'll leave that down below. All I did was mix a little bit of blue with a whole lot of red just so that I can get a really deep, dark red color that I really enjoy. You'll see later on that I did add one more drop of blue just to get a deeper base, but the overall color is like a really crimson red, so I really like the way it turned out. The next product here is 3rd Degree, and if you guys decide to get anything from this video, I highly recommend getting this product here. It comes in 2 parts, A and B. You just mix it up, and this is pretty much all I use to create any of my wounds. Alright, so make sure to grab a couple of cream paints, that way you can color in the wound later. This next item is just a really old sponge that I'm going to use to stipple on texture. And this is actually the cover to one of my candles that I have in my house, but I'm going to use it just so I can mix my 3rd degree on top of. Alright, so finally to the fun part. We're going to just begin by cutting a circle out of one of the pieces of paper we have. Don't worry too much about getting it perfect. We'll measure it to our hand later like you see me here doing. I put it on my hand, write 4 dots, and then I just connect them into the circle that I think is like kind of like it, and then bam, perfect. You see that? We're artists. Alright, so here I'm just mixing 2 equal parts of A and B, making sure to wipe off your spatula before you go into B, or else you're just going to ruin your whole 3rd degree and you're probably not going to be happy about it. Then you just want to start off by adding a little bit of the 3rd degree onto the line you drew earlier, and then with whatever you have, really, I'm using the other side of my spatula. I just really clean out the inside of the wound, that way it adds more depth. You know what I mean. And then you want to grab that paintbrush from earlier, just blend the edges out, that way it adds a more seamless feel. Just try to blend it as much as possible into the skin, that way you can't see where the 3rd degree begins and where it ends. So you just want to take your sponge and then stipple that over. It really helps to cut the shine and then just add the texture that normal skin has. So this is already my 2nd layer, and I'm just going in with the spatula to try to lift those edges to again add the depth that I want to the wound. Alright, so I thought I would include me doing my last layer. It's pretty much the same as the 1st and 2nd. You just add a little bit of 3rd degree over those lines from earlier, clean out the inside, and then with a brush you want to blend those edges in. Again, just keep blending, that way you can't really see those edges and it looks a little more realistic, a little more flowing into your hand. So this is how it looks. You could see from the sides that there is a hole, like a prominent hole in my hand at this point. And that's what you want. You want it to look really deep, really gruesome. So I'm pretty happy with it. And then I'm going to go on to just painting my wound. I grabbed that sponge from earlier, and then I'm just dabbing on a little bit of that red from the cream paint that I had. You could add as much or as little as you like. That's what I really like about special effects. There are no rules, but I kind of like to leave it a little more simple so you can just see the work that I put into it. Alright, so right here I'm just grabbing the smallest brush that I have. I'm adding straight black into the wound, that way it makes it really deep. And then over top I'm adding red so you can kind of cover it up. You don't want it to look just black, but mixing those two together really add a deep dark color that adds a lot of depth to the wound. Alright, so we're almost to the grand finale. I'm just grabbing that circle we made earlier. I'm placing it inside the wound, making sure it fits right. Putting it behind putting the papers behind my hand, that way the words add up, because it will look a little off if the words don't add up. And then we're taking that blood we made earlier, putting it all over the edges, like I said, as much or as little as you want. That is all, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be back, so I hope you guys look forward to seeing more.